The battle we are going to analyze is a vivid illustration of some of the previously voiced principles. And most importantly, it shows that even playing with a weak deck, it was a test deck I had forgotten to change, you can succeed if don't lose your head and properly use available opportunities. First of all, let's just watch the battle. Pay attention to the use of a wind, arrows, statues, and the power of attack of several mages.
Not again. Heads off. To the king. Your soul has mine. Again. I serve no one. Heads off. Bow to the king. Not again.
And now let's analyze the battle in detail. Mistake. Instead of a statue near the enemy castle, I place a dwarf near mine. And now alright. First a statue near the enemy castle and then a dwarf in the center of the lane. Mistake. One of big cards, the Black Knight, was not discarded. As a result, the skeleton swarm was lost, while it could be effectively used against the statue. Yes, you may say that I had a bomb ready, but my opponent did not know it then. Mistake. First, it was necessary to place the golem, which would have covered the ballista having weaker health, but almost the same attack. Under cover of a statue and two dwarfs, I am setting the ballista. In principle, the correct move. to place the pirate under the cover of the golem in order to quickly destroy the statue and the dwarves. I use the mage and not the orc, although orc has been built earlier, because the mage has a ranged multi-attack, area damage, and I need to destroy the pirate and the golem. The opponent plays the demon, destroying my ballista. In principle, the move has the right to exist. The ballista obviously hinders the enemy, but the variant with the mage perhaps would be more promising here. I place the second mage on the same lane. Generally speaking, a very risky tactic if the opponent has an inferno, but I have no choice. Placing a single mage without a cover on another lane is not the best variant ever. Good move of the opponent to cover the castle with a statue from the attack of mages and then attack from behind it by the orc. An orc moves fast and has a very strong health. When the orc appears, I throw a bomb, damaging the castle at the same time. But neither the bomb nor two mages can stop the orc, and I have to use the wind to don't lose both mages. It's the first turning point in the battle. The opponent has repelled all my attacks and goes on the offensive. Mistake. The statue is set too far. I should have placed the statue closer to the center, using it as a cover for the mage. And now the statue has been placed on time. The good move of the opponent to play the Skull King and then immediately a spectre that grows strong. By the way, if the opponent played the spectre later, all the skeletons have been killed and the spectre wouldn't have become so strong. Two mages are definitely unable to cope with such a strong spectre, and I use the wind again. The situation has clearly got worse, and I have to use the wind again. The opponent very competently puts the statue right in front of my mages, covering up his attacking cards. And I again, for the fourth time, use the wind. Fortunately, there was neither an inferno nor a meteor in the opponent's deck. Mistake. The opponent has focused his attention on the central lane only, practically not using any other ones. The Skull King and triplets don't count. If he had distributed his big cards to several lanes, I just wouldn't be able to repel these attacks. Going by crowd of 7 cards against 2 mages with a multi-attack, this is clearly not the best tactic. The statue set on time, and the whole crowd of attackers falls under attack from 2 mages, ballista and dwarf. At the same time, on the periphery, on 2 other lanes, 2 waves of attacking warriors are destroying by arrows. Mistake. With the first salvo I obviously hurried. Here I was lucky. I had 3 arrows cards in my hand. This is the second turning point in the battle. The enemy attack has been repelled and I again turn to the offensive. The opponent is trying to counterattack. And here the arrows have been used in good time. Mistake. A mage should have been played after the golems. The skeletons had no chance there. They should have been sent on the first lane. Finally, it becomes possible to attack on two lanes at once, placing the mage under cover of ballista and dwarf. Mistake. Behind the statue it was necessary to place a mage. First, it was built early, and secondly, then there would have been a chance to kill the dwarf and, if lucky, all my mages. After all, level 2 versus level 1. But the opponent has bet on the Black Knight, and he has been wrong. 3 mages, total attack 387, easily killed the Black Knight. By the way, arrows could help my opponent in this situation, but there wasn't this card in his deck. What cards did he have in the deck then? We see quite strong and balanced deck with a clear accent on attack. By all cards, there is superiority in levels. In my opinion, the only disadvantage of the deck, greatly weakening the defensive opportunities, is the lack of arrows and gust of wind. By the way, after this battle, the opponent added a gust of wind to his deck. But even without these cards, victory was possible with adequate tactics and proper use of available cards.